Dr. Kiambi, welcome. Yeah, have a seat and you can adjust it to what you like. Okay, thank you. You have a pen and a notebook there. My name is Nelson Makanda. I'm the chair of this selection panel. And on behalf of this panel, we thank you for showing interest in the position we advertised, but also we congratulate you for being shortlisted. I'd like to invite my colleagues here to introduce themselves. Then after that, we'll come to you. Thank you. Linda.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Linda Kiome, and I wish to welcome you for your interview session this afternoon. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Bwana Kiambi, habari ya asubuhi.
Salama kabisa.
Jina langu ni 𝐊𝐢𝐚𝐦𝐛𝐢, mwanachama wa jopo hili la uteuzi, na karibu.
Asante sana.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Caroline Kituku, a member of the panel. Karibu.
Thank you.
Good morning, Stephen.
Thank you. Good morning.
My name is Adam Solo, a member of the selection panel.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
My name is Nicodemus Bore and karibu sana.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Fatuma Ansaman, a member of the panel. Please feel welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Kiambi.
Good morning to you.
Karibu sana. My name is 𝐒𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐲𝐡𝐞𝐧, and I'm a member of the panel.
Thank you.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you.
My name is Evan Simisati. I'm a member of the selection panel, and we welcome you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. We now come to you and request that you introduce yourself, highlight those things in your profile that are significant for us to note, and why you think that an engineer is good for this position.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, I am Stephen Kiambi, and I am from Murang'a County. I was raised there. I schooled there from primary to secondary. Secondary was at Jerry's High School. Then after I joined the University of Nairobi for bachelor's in electrical electronics engineering. After I did go to Germany in city of Hamburg, I did my master's in information and communication systems. Then later I joined again University of Nairobi, where I did a PhD degree in electrical and electronic engineering. In all this academic work, I have specialized in information and communication technology. So that means the transfer of information of this network, wireless or fixed. For my work, I started in the private sector back in 2000, just immediately after completing my first degree at the University of Nairobi. And I was involved in the setting up of the 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐧 network. It was very young then. In fact, we did set it up from a container at what is Backside Towers at Mombasa Road. And then later we moved it to the tower after it was completed. We rode the network across the country. I was involved in Nairobi. I moved to Mombasa and then Nakuru region to roll out that mobile network. I was working with Alcatel East Africa that time, and we were the supplier of the equipment for 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐧. And also in the East African region, we had other networks, Uganda Telecom, under their brand of mobile network, Mango, then Celtel Uganda, Tanzania. And we used to be the hub supporting those networks. So I was involved in the installation of this mobile communication, commissioning the network, and technical support. So in case there is a problem, we had to be called. I rose from an engineer to the leader of the technical support team, and as second level. So we sit at Renana Road DCS Plaza, and if there is problem at 𝐒𝐭𝐶𝐧, we have to rush with cars and to solve the problems within the service level agreement we had. And the same apply to the other mobile networks in the East African region. So till 2005, I also now had the chance to move to other countries. I was first in Togo in West Africa, Lomé, for their mobile network support. I was doing some installation and upgrade of the network. After that, I did move to Asia. In fact, Middle East first. I was in Iraq, Baghdad, for LASCOM mobile network. I did work there. Then I went also to Maldives in Asia for Dilago mobile network. After that, I could go to Sri Lanka, Colombo, doing field technical management. So that means I am on site managing technical team to, let's say, do operation of installation, upgrade of network, and liaising with the technical manager in France, who is the Alcatel office there. So, so I manage teams of people from different countries, Malaysia, France, Philippines, and all that, this work. After I finished that work there of in Sri Lanka, I did go to Algeria for also LASCOM network. I supported that network for some time, and then I did. At that point, I had a break to go to Germany now to do my master's degree in information and communication systems. Currently, I am a lecturer at 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐻𝐡𝐞𝐧 University of Agriculture and Technology in the area of telecommunication and information engineering, still in the ICT. So producing engineers every year, I'm supposed to do. I also do have a connection with the University of Nairobi. I have been their lecturer, part-time lecturer in the area of electrical engineering from 2013 and thereof to today. And I can say that's my short career. What now I think is important is how I can contribute to this member of IEBC. In the past, before the technology was adopted, of course, I will not go there 2007 and going beyond, but these years, 2013, coming 22, with technology, I think we have seen some issues, especially use of the technology, and I think the commission did not have anybody who can look at the people without looking at the back and explain the technology involved. A lot of things from scanning of files, their transmission, server issues, and all that. I think it is good, and I think the Act of 2024 is good that it added ICT as a good qualification for a person who can be a member of the IEBC. Because although the Secretariat can have the technical personnel, where members develop policies and strategies to make the IEBC efficient in the performance of its functions, it's good also the commissioners understand, or they have somebody who can guide, especially in those policies of ICT, the use of technology, from transmission of the results, the network, 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐻𝐡𝐞𝐧, and all that, the connection security of the software, the network, that the policies made actually are understood. And if it needs a guidance, for example, for me, even to tell the secretary, this is a better way to do this any ICT, the transmission. If you need redundancies for security, for example, you are told, okay, we cannot get some results from somewhere there. We just need redundancy of the network. Yeah, we don't need to rely, for example, on one and all that. security of the database are very important. So I would add a lot in the policies towards ICT, transmission, storage, security of the network, and all that. And that would avoid a case where commissioners just appear, for example, in the front of the media, and none can explain what is happening. For example, the issue we are told what happened when the sorters can't, and from that they need to go to the study center. So stuff like this, the server and all that security and stuff like that. So I think I would add a lot of value in terms of understanding that to develop policies and strategies towards that ICT value. Of course, there are other functions of limitations, which are more analytical and quantitative. So from my background in engineering, I would also help in that policies towards that. I hope I have not exceeded 5 minutes.
You actually have, but
Thank you
it's fine.
for bearing with me.
Are you a member of any professional society group?
Yes, I am a member of EBK, that is Engineers Board of Kenya.
Okay, and have you received any award?
I have no, yes, I have a certificate, or I don't know what you mean by
Award or an honor, something, a merit or some whatever. Yeah.
I have not received except the registration.
Okay.
And also I am also a member of, which is of course related, Institution of Engineers of Kenya. I have served in the committees of that institution in the telecommunication and advocacy committee.
Okay. How many PhDs in telecommunications do we have at JKUAT? In the faculty?
At the faculty, we have 4 now.
Four
In the faculty, we have 4.
And the UIN?
Sorry?
And the University of Nairobi?
University of Nairobi, I am not sure about the exact number, but it is slightly more than JKUAT.
And you want to deny them this capacity?
Which capacity?
You want to deny JKUAT and students this capacity by moving to IBC?
I think it's serving in a different capacity, because here, for example, this is six years term, so I can still go back and continue with my work after that. So I know they deny them that chance.
Okay. Thank you. Linda?
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Kiambi, in your career journey, have you worked in an environment that has high stakes and which is a high pressure environment, such as that of the IEBC? And if so, would you be able to share your experiences with this panel, especially when your leadership skills have been tried, tested, and you overcame?
Yes, I can say that. Okay. I can start with one case when I was in charge of the leadership of the Technical Assistance Center here for the East African Network. We had a service level agreement with our operators we are supporting, Cancel now Airtel, that, for example, if the network fails, it's a critical, we write it is a critical problem. We must solve that within 4 hours. Remember, we are not on site as we are seated in plaza along Lenana Road. And then we know the client now, and so had tried, of course, different ways of managing that. But then they reached the dead end and call us. So we rush, and the network is not working. And in fact, I could see some people there were more experienced than me. The guys who had been brought to assist in the establishment that. So, but I catched up with what was supposed to be when I was a reader. And when I arrived at site, everybody is panicking. We have tried ABCD, we cannot do it, and we need a solution now. So I look at them in the eyes and I consider the problem presented to me. I tell them now the solutions can only be ABCD. You must allow me to do it. And there could be a meeting, a short meeting, which cannot last for because the network is down. And I go there, I go down, I say, I offer a solution. They look at me, I give it, and with all that pressure, I tell them we are going A, B, C, D, and within a short time, I could solve those problems under a lot of pressure. It was actually very critical for us, and calls are flowing left, right, and all that, that we must restore that. This happened also in the other fields, like I said, in Sri Lanka. I have, in fact, during our operation and upgrade, we lose the whole network. Of course, we are responsible. We had meetings of risk analysis all the time, but sometimes things don't work the way they are reached. So I had to make also decisions with some consultation and restore that. I have also lost, in fact, the whole network in Mali, that's in Bamako. I lost during my operation time, and I had to really to restore that with the grant looking at me. And of course, I'm responsible that I am doing the operation, but I am not the one who prepared the softwares, for example, the hardware that is used. It is shipped to me and to do, but then things that don't work at some point, so I have to get it off.
And which is your best personal attribute that you think will be essential as a commissioner in the execution of your mandate if you're taken as a member of the commission?
Yes, I think my best is attributes is to consider on or listen to everyone's view, and then be able to bring them together and make a right decision, depending, of course, considering all the views that are presented to me. Whether it's in conflict, I think I have managed that. Even in the boards, when I have been I've been a member of the board of secondary school, and we have issues, for example, with staff and teaching and teachers, and the principal, they don't agree. So they take a start. So I rescue that by saying, okay, although the principal want to dismiss their views of the non-teaching because they are there, they need to come and tell us, and then we can only solve that problem by listening to them, and then we agree. And if they refuse, for example, refuse them to come to the board, I say, no, let them come, let them say what they want to say. Let's hear. Then we look at one by one the issues they are raising, and every issue we have to offer a solution. And that is done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Kiambi, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I invite Caroline Kituku to ask you some questions. Carol, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Dr. Kiambi.
Yeah.
Delimitation of constituencies, boundaries, and wards is one of the key mandate of the IBC. What are the key principles that IBC should follow to ensure that there is that there is fairness in the representation of the people whenever it is undertaking boundaries delimitation on constituencies and wards?
Yes, thank you for the question. I think the first thing which is considered is the population quota based on the last census. So that is a first thing done. Then after that allocation of that number, for example, we had 47,560 something in the last census, divided by, for example, 290 constituencies or wards. We have 1450. So we divide by, get the population quota. But then there are other issues there to be considered, that constituents can have more or less. If you have in the cities, it can, for example, go by around 40%, and for sparsely, it can go below maybe by about 40%, so plus minus 40%. And for the others, is allowed that percent. So, and of course, those considerations about the community, the mass communication of that, the community there, and of course, there should be public participation. There is, I think, a schedule on that for that public participation, the delimitation of boundaries of the wards and constituencies.
Thank you very much. So should you become successful in your application to join the IBC, what are some of the challenges that you foresee that you're likely to face in the limitation of constituencies and ward boundaries, and how will you navigate those challenges?
I think the major ones, for example, are if you consider what moves, the boundaries moving, words are changed from one constituency to another. That, of course, is a challenge, and it will come, of course, from the political class and even from the communities. They may not want to move from one constituency to another. In fact, like me, I think we had a case when Kagema was split into two, to Madio, and some were moved of the boundaries to Madio. And in fact, maybe until today we didn't like that because we are told we should be in Madio, but we fought in Kagema, but then we are moved to Madio as our district. So those are challenges of course the people will not like to move from maybe one area to another based on their historical things, culture, especially where we have different cultures across wards and all that. How to manage that? I think the stakeholders engagement, it is good, and I think the new act, which we can be quoted 2024, has elaborate now plan of involving the people, parliament, and the IEBC, and what can happen if things are not accepted, what IEBC can do to make sure that the report on the delimitation is done. So public participation, stakeholders engagement, and all that, and confusing this the right way, of course, to go to the required.
Have you thought about the time frame lapses, and
Yes,
how would you navigate that?
Yeah, I think we are limited to all between 8 and 12 years. So, and I think now it's coming like it should be after the last census. IBC should do that after the last census. So I think it could be maybe better unless there is any difficult logistics to do that after what is supposed to be done in 8 years for the constituencies and all that.
So how do you choose to navigate the time frame and the lapses that have already happened? What solutions would you be giving your fellow commissioners?
Yes, I actually thought about that because we have now, it's the lapsing 2012 now, we are in 2025, so 12 years gone. So can we say that that now, because it was not done, and the limit was 20, no, after 12 years, the max of the upper limit. So I think it should be undertaken as soon as possible, because now it means now how do we now count another 8 or 12 years, because the lapse has happened. So it should be undertaken, and I think considering all the stakeholders need to be engaged, and it must be done at least 1 year before the general election. So I think it should be undertaken as soon as possible.
All right, thank you very much. I wish you well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to invite Dr. 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐲𝐡 to ask you some questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. Dr. Kiambi,
Yes.
I would like to ask a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
on use of technology in results transmission
Yes.
and results management, because that's your area of expertise. So generally, during elections, the polling itself during the day and the counting of the results at the polling station usually go generally very well.
Yes.
However, when it comes to transmitting and managing the results once the election is over and counted, that's where IEBC still experiences some very significant challenges.
Correct.
And with your knowledge and experience, perhaps if you are lucky to get there, you should, can you tell the panel and the people who are watching you some strategies or the steps you can take to improve how IEBC does two things: how it transmits results to all the areas that is supposed to go, county, constituency level, county level, and at National Tallying Center. And how once those results are transmitted, they are actually managed to ensure that they are the security of the results, and also to ensure transparency in the process of transmission and in the process of securing them until the final declaration of results. And also trying to see how you can simplify the process that citizens or voters can actually see the results in a more transparent manner. So improving that infrastructure of transmission, of management, of results, and opening them clearly to the public as well. If you can give us those steps, then we can begin to address those challenges at IEBC.
Okay, thank you for the question. I can look at this problem of the transmission. So after the voting, then there is the technology used, the scanning, and then the transmission of these results to, let's say, to the constituency level. For we can start with like a member of parliament results. So they or presidential, which is normally very contentious, so it has to go to the constituency level. And then the RO, the returning officer, has to aggregate inform that 4B and then send it to the National Tallying Center. In terms of the security of the transmission, there is some improvement, I think, which can be done, especially in the scanning of these files which are transmitted, and considering that some areas don't have a good network coverage. There is what we tend to do on a file. We can reduce its size without losing the content of the file. We reduce that to small number of megabytes, so the size, and then it can go even with a slower network. But on that aspect of network, there should also be redundancy. I think now satellite can be available everywhere, so it can be a backup network for the people there on the ground for the transmission of the result. Of course, there is essence which must be there of the encryption of the files which are transmitted, whether to the constituency and the National Tallying Center. So they need to be, the one transmitted to the National Tallying Center, they need to have encryption. This from that 4A, they should of course be encrypted. And I've said the issue of redundancy of the network used there, so that they arrive on time. If that is secured, the issue of network security, at the server, the storage, we need several levels of authentication of who can enter there. So not one. There need to be somebody with a very good trail of the logins. That must be done and checked. And I think somebody like me now understanding that this is something we can do with good timestamps. These files coming from the polling station, they are transmitted. They should have timestamp. The moment the transmission starts to the end. So we cannot now have issue. Was the file taken somewhere and maybe through another what we call socket in the network, and then it is transmitted again. So timestamps which are well known, so that in fact we normally call that latency. So how long the file will take to be transferred from a third police station to this. It's the same with
So just, sorry to interrupt you, time is passing. I just wanted to, you sound a little bit too technical in the sense that perhaps the person even transmitting that result need to have specialized training, because usually the people transmitting this are election officers, like the presiding officer from the polling station is the one transmitting. Are you saying that they need specialized training to understand that process you are explaining?
Of course, there should be not really that deep technical training. What can happen is the algorithm used in the, for example, the scanning, what I've said, the file, it is in the kit. So it is presented, then behind it you can, for example, reduce the data and then just transmit. That is inside. So the person doing that is not really, does not require a lot of technical training. And I can also talk about, there is a bottleneck at the constituency level. And I think this is what normally brings a lot of problems in and delays. Because verification must be done of this transmitted soft copy at the physical one. Now, if you read like the communication from the last election, that we have to wait for returning officer to finish announcing the MP and MCA for him or her to bring from that 4B to the tallying center. I think that is something that needed to be checked, because this is where the things get actually murky because of that delay. Waiting to do this, you did your form that 4B, but now returning officer is the one who has to announce this, so he has first to stay there, and people are actually waiting for the presidential results because they normally look like this is the serious stuff. So we have a bottleneck at the constituency level, which can be addressed to seal it and or to eliminate that.
Dr. Kiambi, this is very interesting, but I'm sure my colleagues will continue asking you similar related questions, and you can share more of your expertise with them. Otherwise, thank you very much and all the best. Chair, thank you.
Thank you. I hope that Professor Adams has heard that there's a socket that can be put during transmission of results. Prof, did you hear that? Okay, thank you. I want to ask FCPA to ask some questions.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Ngure, let me appreciate your achievements.
Thank you.
Yeah, from high school all the way to the University of Nairobi, to German, and back to University of Nairobi. Yeah, your qualifications speak for itself.
Thank you.
And that brings me to my question. Appreciating the role of a commissioner at IEBC. And you've just heard my colleague saying that you are too technical. And I've appreciated your experience when you're introducing yourself, the kind of work that you've been doing. And I'm just wondering, if we take you to IEBC, with this kind of expertise, technical expertise that you'll have, I foresee an element of job dissatisfaction, more so the intrinsic job satisfaction. Yes, you may enjoy the extrinsic factors, job, the salary, but in terms of the ability to use your knowledge, You will be a commissioner at the policy level. We do elections after every 5 years. So what will Dr. Stephen 𝐒𝐭𝐤𝐡𝐞𝐧 will be doing in the 6 years? You'll only participate in one election. So how will this competence, this high competence and technical skills will be utilized at IEBC?
Okay, good. And thank you for that question. I think there is nothing more important than doing something like this for the country, serving the country at that level. Make sure that we have good working IBC, and I am part of it if I am there, and offering my technical expertise. You see, development of the policy and the strategies for the IBC should be based on somebody understanding what you are developing. Yeah, at the back of my mind, there should be the practicality of things and looking at how they work. These are people you are developing the policy for and strategies to implement should see actually logic. They should not come and say, oh, this can it really work? So with my expertise, if we are doing these policies and then they work, I'll be very, very, very satisfied that we have developed policies strategies to make this efficient. And with my background, and they can consult me, even technically. I support them. So I'll be very, 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 very okay. And to offer that, and I'll be happy with that. I'll be satisfied that my knowledge, because I think where I've reached now is like now I move from the private sector and I'm producing engineers, and I'm very happy if I see things are working. Like now we had as our engineers winning the Huawei stuff and going to compete with international students. So when we see that, we are satisfied. So if I am in IBC and offer that technical advice from that in the development of the policy and then the implementation supporting the secretariat, I will be more than happy to achieve that.
Thank you. And lastly, just before the last general elections in 2022, there was a judgment by the court that IEBC should use manual voter register alongside the biometric. And of course, IEBC had made their own plans not to use the manual register. So as a commissioner, if considered, how would you align this directive with the Commission's objective of running an efficient and effective elections?
Okay, thank you for the question. We can talk about the data integrity. The manual, because and the electronic one, you know, they are just replicas of the same. They should be just one of the same thing. So I think there is issue of this consultation with the stakeholders. We need to have actually, even in technology and all that use, we need the stakeholders on board. They understand what exactly the IBC is doing. Of course, with there is confidentiality which is signed that we can only go to this limit, but the stakeholders need to be used. So the IBC, of course, argued that for the first track of the voting, rather than cancelling them, we use, we can check, and we do this in the banks. We use, and we are dealing with money, and we do technology, we do verification on the electronic, and we are good with it. So it's a matter of trusting the technology. The manual register and the other one should just be the same thing. And I think I don't find any issue with that. As long as we have the data integrated, that's what I was coming. The authentication, who touches this electronic database, it is something that is supposed to have a very good trail. And levels of authentication of who enters, the credentials and all that. So they should be the same thing, manual and that. And, I think IEBC is one who is supposed to facilitate consultation. There should be a liaison committee to do that, the political parties and the stakeholders. So to make people actually comfortable with technology. And, that is it.
Thank you, Engineer, and I wish you well. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Everyone starting, please.
Thanks so much, Chair.
Thank you.
Engineer,
Yes, please.
I like the way you put it. You produce engineers.
Yes.
Now, mine is an interesting one. I wanted to ask you that sometimes we just wake up, we find news stories with false and misleading information deliberately created to disinform in social media. Like the one we found the other day that this selection panel has put names forward, which was actually very false. But now I want to ask you as an engineer, do we just find this information and we start discussing right, left? We find even very senior people believing in that false information. From where you sit, are we able to trace the authors of this false information? Because you are a technical person, are we able to see that it's so and so who sat with his phone and is the actual author? So these are some of the things we are struggling to understand from the people we are calling yourself the engineers with the skills.
Or the social media.
The actual person who did the script and send it out now to the media.
Yes, it's a trackable thing. It can be tracked to the level, and I think we have seen DCI doing it, tracking, and it is you can track the actual originator of this. You see, when we use our mobile phone or a computer, we do have actually a MAC address, and we can trace until we get there to where you are, and then we can associate that. So of course, it will need this AI now to know where this originate, because the point with our communication MAC address, it is at the basic level. We normally call that the physical level. Then we go up now to the addresses. We use IP in the communication. So it can be done.
It can be done. So if you are an IEBC commissioner and that artificial intelligence is misused, such information is in the media. So are you able to do that so that you can give confidence to the Kenyans that information it is circulating? So would you need the authority or DCI for you to do that if you are a commissioner in IEBC? Or what do you propose we can do as a country? Because some of these things is a bit disturbing, because people ask them question, why in the first thing this is happening?
Yeah, I think that could be a good thing to be done by the communication part, the communication part of the IEBC, because in fact, normally even in our WhatsApp group, I'm normally surprised, even us in academic field, you find somebody will just share something, which forward something without verification. Me, what I do if I receive, for example, something and somebody is sharing, and I see this, I have to check other sources. Is this really found here and here and here and something like that? Why should you forward something without verifying? So, and you find this is very irritating. It is all over by all people from all levels, even those who understand, who don't understand. So I think to answer your question, there should be a deliberate communication to get out of this fake. It is deep fake news which is spread. So a very good way of communicating and convincing to do away with that kaidu. The moment it comes, like now what you have said, it need to be removed from that. Of course, with some good, and we can show this fake news.
Thanks so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. I invite Fatuma Saman to ask you some questions. Fatuma, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Dr. Kiambi.
Yes, please.
And IEBC has both internal and external stakeholders. How do these stakeholders, we start with the external stakeholders, how do these stakeholders support and shape the election process? When we think of stakeholders, in most cases we think about, we've been so much concentrating on IEBC reaching out to them and all this. So what is their responsibility? What is their role?
The stakeholders.
Yes.
Yes. So for the processes of the IBC and the results to be trusted, there must be engagement of the stakeholders. At every point, they should be engaged, whether it's political parties, observation and monitoring and evaluation people. They should be engaged for the process to.
Are you able to use the mic closely? I'm struggling.
Sorry.
To hear
You can hear. No, sorry for that. So I'm saying for the trust of the processes that are done by IBC, and including the results, transmission, and announcement, it's good that the IBC engages all the stakeholders, whether it's the parties, political parties involved, the monitoring groups, monitoring evaluation. They need to be engaged continuously. Otherwise, there will be that thing that maybe something is happening we don't know. So IBC, there are also support groups for the IBC, donor fundings and all that. So there is good to engage all of these people, and so that the process is seen to be always transparent to all of them. And that committee of liaison need to be very active, and with every point of the IBC, whether it's piloting, like this transmission of results, they should be involved. The stakeholders should be called, come see, this is how we are going to do it, even in the final one, and you will see, and you can check what the process we have gone through. We have this database, whether we are dealing with the dummy data or something for the testing, and it is done like this. So the moment we have these stakeholders participating at every step of the process, then there will be some transparency and trust in the commission.
For these stakeholders to actively engage, what would be their clear roles? For example, let's just speak on voters. What is the role? What is the role of the voters?
For the voters, I think we need voter education. So that must be done. And for voters, we need to educate them on how things will be done at, let's say, the polling station, going all the way to, and after you vote, the next process will be ABCD. We need to explain to them and make them aware of the processes that will happen at the polling station. So I think that is important. Of course, there should be this thing. I think sometimes we fail to do the continuous registration of voters. I think it remains a problem maybe for us. I don't know. I'm not an insider in the ABC, but I think it's not done. We have people getting 18 years, and I think there is always that lack of continuous, not total, but continuous voter registration.
Thank you very much, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. I invite Nicodemus Bore to ask you some questions. Nicodemus, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. The other month, IBC presented a budget to the Parliamentary Budgetary Committee, and they presented a budget of around 61.4 billion shillings. And in the budget, if we break it down, the most expensive is the IT equipment or the water equipment, which is more IT. This is what's making the cost of election in Kenya very expensive. Given a chance as a commissioner, how will you help the commission in reducing the cost of using the IT equipment?
Okay. Of course, in the process of procuring any equipment should follow the public procurement laws. So what makes equipment actually expensive is the specifications of the equipment, hardware, software, and the functions. So we can deal with what is really needed, because sometimes the manufacturer can present you with some functions that you don't need and then charge you on that. So as a person from this field, in understanding this technical bit of it in that ICT, I should be able to look at options A, B, C in the procurement, and why is this charging this, why is the other charging this, and considering all this. So in that way, I think I can assist in the reduction of the estimates like that.
Do you believe, given the chance, you can bring it down to about what percent?
At now, I may not define that. You see now, let's look at maybe the servers now. We have the manufacturers of these servers. So I cannot give a rough estimate, but I will consider A can give us this server this much. B can give us what are the functions that we really need as IEBC. Why should we buy this higher than the other one, and yet we can deliver this, considering all those things. So I'll be able to then advise that it's better to go for A rather than B, and considering what they have presented to us.
You said you lecture at 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐻𝐡 University of Agriculture and Technology.
Yes.
Do you think we have the capacity to have local manufacturers support IEBC in terms of ICT?
Yeah, actually today, because you see the IEBC, what is there normally is this server and the storage, and the rest is now the network, which is CAMS kit, the kit they are used there, and how they communicate to the server there. So that's there. That's not difficult to support that. Of course, for the servers in the production today, now we have local hosts. It is something we can argue, local servers hosting of network here, because like if you want you are hosting of something, can be told, do you want a server here or server in Germany? So which is like that. Like now we know the other server it is somewhere else. You see, if we get that, but of course we must do everything for the interest of the country and what can be really trusted by the stakeholders. You see, that is now the stakeholders issue. So and all that. So, but we have capability to support those things and be inside. We are good. In fact, when I've traveled across the countries, Kenyans, we are good in our own thing in ICT and telecommunication. We are good. We are good, and we can support.
Thank you, and all the best, Dr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I invite Professor Adam Solo.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Kiambi, before I go to what the chair was prompting me,
okay,
which I accepted that I would confirm, let me do a preliminary and kindly explain how the Leadership and Integrity Act complements the Constitution in promoting ethical conduct among IEBC commissioners.
Okay, thank you for the question. When we have people with integrity and they pass chapter 6, then those people are expected to behave in the same way that they have been, because they are okay with chapter 6 in all manners of the activities, let's say at the IBC, because I think the question which is a problem in IBC is the integrity issues and that the stakeholders cannot trust. So the issues of integrities are pertinent to the performance, and there should be a real enforcement of the code of conduct. After, of course, the employees have been, they sign, but the enforcement that it is there by IBC should be always followed. In fact, sometimes I find like these penalties of subversion of IBC activities is too small, even the jail term, because 1 million, 1 year, both, I think it is too small. Maybe it can at one point be enhanced so that people are, the moment you said you are employed by the IBC or the commissioner is taken, is there, then you change your integrity issues because you are interested to be there, then the punishment should be a bit harsh.
Thank you. Let's go to where Ambassador Koki left you. You're aware of the minor KI ruling?
Yes, that the polling station is final.
Do you know why the court decided so, and what IEBC wanted?
Yeah, I think logically, of course, from
No, I'm just asking. When the matter was in court, what did IEBC want that the court declined?
I don't remember the specifics of the findings of the IEBC, but I can remember the final. But if it was counter the polling station results, then maybe I can guess that maybe the IEBC thought that we can change what is there and do other things.
Very well. Are you aware that at that polling station, not are you aware, which, other than the presiding officers and the clerks, which other stakeholders are present
we do have
when
agents.
that result is being announced and declared?
Yes. Agents are there, and it is something maybe IBC should work.
No. Just mention for me the ones whom you know are there. One is petty agents.
They are agents, and they are the observers there. And and of course the other.
Is media there?
Sorry? The media, yes, media is there, of course, yes.
So the Constitution says at Article 86, at every election, the IEBC shall ensure that whatever vetting method is used, the system is simple, accurate, verifiable, secure, accountable, and transparent. Verifiable, secure, accountable, and transparent. What has been transmitted to the server at the point that it is at the server which you say that if you are a commissioner, maybe only people with credentials like you should access, would what had been transmitted in the presence of agents, observers, monitors, media, and based on what IEBC went to court, now be left only to the commissioner of IEBC in terms of accountability, in terms of transparency, in terms of verifiability, in terms of secure? Should it now just be left that what was transmitted in front of all these people and declared at the server, it should just be a commissioner or a secretariat member of IEBC without these other people?
Okay, good question and good concern. Now, the server versus the polling station, they should be the same. Whatever is there should be the same there. Of course, what I said about the authentication levels of accessing the server and all that, it needs to be upped. Whatever these observers and the agents and those stakeholders at the police station see should be the same what is in the server. So I say the protection. If you see, if we miss the server shows something different, of course there will be something for questioning. Why are we using technology? We want to make our electoral process efficient and fast. We move from
that one I agree.
Yes.
What I'm just asking, at the point of the server, which transmitted in front of an agent, in front of a media, in front of an observer, and was even pinned, at the point in which now we want to see what is in the server, should it be only the IEBC Commissioner and Secretariat, or these very people who were present when it was originated, at least their representatives?
No, I think that I don't know why that has been the case, because access to what is in the server should be because they are representative of political parties, even at the tallying center. I think access should normally not be really a problem. You see, the person want to see this is from that 4A from let's say a certain Kagem police station, and it came here, and somebody want to see that, so we can check that. You see, the person who want to check the server is not coming to change anything. Is not coming to change anything. Of course, there is the issue of confidentiality and how IEBC should share information.
A public result is confidential?
No, I'm not saying the results are not actually confidential. The management of the process of checking should be, of course, be secure.
Kiambi, let me use an example because of time that I usually use. When you're talking there, the Hansard there,
yes,
will go and transcribe. Of course, if Adams Olo went and said, no, I want to go and see what can be said, they'll tell me no. Let us transcribe it first, because you won't understand the encrypted version. And therefore, they'll print for me and bring me. Now see exactly what can be said. With all your experience, Oracle, everything, can't that be transcribed for Adams Olo, who wants to see what form 34A was at whatever is this, so that becomes the main document for verification?
Yes, I think there should be the parties, especially which we can see like agents, that should be allowed to see. They can see the forms where they
can it be printed? You are the expert.
Me, I can say, as long as the system, I have the system here, my computer, and I
Yes.
can say like my computer.
Yes.
And you want to see a form that for it,
Yeah.
I will log in with now the secretary or who is in charge and commission is there. You log in.
And you print it.
And it can also be printed from there. And
How
it should
long?
look.
How long I've voted in Lamu or voted in Todongonyang minus network failure. How long does it take for after the close at 6? How long does it take to reach the server? That form.
Yeah, this is the thing I wanted actually to, I was talking about. This thing, communication, how long it takes. In fact, like now, if you look at Communication Authority Kenya, it is after or quarterly, it will normally give some statistics about the performance of.
Roughly how long?
It should.
Minus network failures.
It should take milliseconds or less than.
Seconds.
Yes, mil, not seconds.
Milliseconds. And therefore, we have 7 days. You can't be sitting there. Shouldn't we just get that printout in a day, so that when the returning officer comes, the one of the server is already there waiting to be verified?
I did argue to the bottleneck at the constituency level because
that's 34B.
Yes.
But 34A should be there.
Yes, 34A should be there.
Thank you.
And it should be available, and the tracing of the process of this availability and the transmission process is need to be well communicated and trusted by the stakeholders.
So there's no need for the portal. Just print for us 34A. Since it arrived instantly, put it there.
Yeah. I think that the portal purpose normally is for.
No. Now just for, because people have questioned it, just for accountability. Just remove the portal, print this 34A which came, let everybody see it.
Yeah, that can happen as well. I think as long logistics are in place and administration there. But
so the law which is stopping that, if you are commissioner, would you be willing to change it?
For the printing?
Yes.
Yes, myself, I don't have a problem with that.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Looks like Professor is happy. Prof, do you have a...
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It can be usually at this last session through the chair. We usually ask what he calls high school questions. And we'll just take you where your forte is first before I go to another one. The Kenyan Integrated Election Management System, KIEMS, includes, at least from my little knowledge, candidate registration management, biometric voter registration, electronic voter identification, electronic results transmission. From where you sit, how has IEBC invested over time in those 4 categories? When you look at the investment put in candidate registration, in BVR, in electronic voter identification, vis-a-vis the election results transmission.
Yeah, I think in terms of the first 3, the voter identification and card dates and all that, that is at the, you can say at the local level. I think there has been maybe issues of the transmission and which I said need to be looked at. For this game, it operates on a mobile network. It's just another like a phone with some other functionalities. So I'm saying there, these things of network failures, because that is what, whether deliberate or not, I cannot say, but is what has been the issue, that somebody, the results were done, Turing was done, but we still don't have anything received electronically. So I think that is something needs to be improved. And I talked about the redundancy, the network redundancy. And we can look now at availability of other, not only this mobile network, we can look at the satellite, because as long as we have encryption from the kit there, what now needs is just the configuration of the LI4 of the network we are using. So how they are connected to the server there. That's what we need. That's what I called about the socket. For example, we can trace where will the entry come in into the server. Which port is it going to use? So those things.
Thank you. My last question. Name 2 major rivers in Africa besides the Nile.
Okay, that's a good question. History. I was not very good in history. And geography. Geography was good.
It's geography.
Yes, that's geography. Yes.
Yes.
In fact, I had a name. I know, so I did good. There is a Sabesi River, and of course, you said in Africa.
In Africa.
Yes. We also have rivers in Kenya. We have Tana River. Yes, I've named 2.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Engineer.
Yes, please.
So you promise us that there will be no socket in between during the transmission of
that one I can explain without looking back if I am asked about such things in the transmission process and all that.
To be clear and linear.
Clear and no man in the middle.
No Jose Kamango.
Yes.
Okay. Allow me to thank you for the time we have had and for your robust engagement. I don't know whether this came with you or it just happened. Members, we have 20 pupils of Kambui School for the Deaf and 2 teachers, Teacher Jennifer Kuria and Marianne Jerry, who are watching this from the gallery down there. Yes. I hope that they can find some time to be brought in just to see what is happening in here. But we want to acknowledge the pupils together with their teachers, Jennifer and Marianne, for bringing them over to observe this important national process and function. I don't know whether, Engineer, you have any last comment to make?
I really don't have, but I can actually thank you very much, especially for deciding to get or to list potential commissioners who are from the field of engineering and telecommunication, ICT and all that, because it has not happened in the past. And, when you look at the media, a lot of things in argument in court and all that, sometimes just there and wonder, where are we? Why are we not involved? Because the people in the secretariat normally are back there, so they cannot come. So the commissioners are left there. Yes, so like these questions of the servers, transmission, and all that, and no one can eat. And yet, one of the functions of the IBC is to use appropriate technology and approaches to make it more efficient. So I just thank you for involving people like us and listing us to come for the interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciated, even for your comment. We wish you well. You find somebody at the door who has your documents.
Okay, thank you.
The pen and the notebook are yours.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Blessings to you.
Okay.
I don't know whether we have another candidate. Eh? No, I don't think they came with him. It's just a coincidence. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, we would request that they stay for lunch, and yeah, thank you.